Hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Okay, it's time for Bleach review. Yeah. Once again. Everyone stand up and clap for the almighty. I don't want to call him almighty yet. He's still got a lot of things to prove. But I might as well just go ahead and say, last week I gave it a, if I'm not mistaken, 5 out of 5. Going to go only because we haven't seen any fights yet. This is just a setup. For this chapter. So, 4.5. 4.5 out of 5. Another solid chapter from Kubo. Hey, you know, he's I don't know what's going on here. Usually we get disappointed and Kubo trolls, and I was like, "Arr!" But he's pulling all the stops. Yeah. So let's get into it now. This chapter was really confusing because there was so many names. There were like 3 people's names of the Steinritter. I had to write it down. I have this on my Mac. I have this text edit, so I had to write down all the names and all the pairings. So let's get into it. Okay, beginning of it. We got in 33rd District, Rio North, 30. I'm looking this on Manga Stream. So 27 shoulders dead. Additionally, 3rd seat, 5th seat, and 6th seat. Karakura's. That's the 6th seat's name. Spiritual pressures have disappeared. Vice Captain Kira's spiritual pressure has disappeared. And then we have Rose there, and he says, I see. Moving right along. We see that he says, oh, understood. He understands what has occurred. And at the bottom of it says 495, Bleeding Guitar Blues. So this one is actually a little bit more in with Rose. Okay. This guy that is introduced to fight Rose. Does Kubo get these names from like some Joe Schmo in Japan? Because these names are like, where do you get these names from? Okay, now, before I go into details with this, I should let everyone know that, like with the Espada, where they had a number system with who was the strongest and who was the weakest, the strongest Espada, they went from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, give or take. And with, Soul Society, you have Squad 1, 2, 3, 4, give or take. Quincy's, they don't follow that. They go on a different scale. And instead, they go by letters, which is kind of interesting. So we have the Stern Ritters of the Vandenreich. They are gone by letters, and we are introduced to this one guy. And he says, doesn't sound like goodness. And this guy looks really freaky. He looks like, I don't want to say, his hair looks like Kenpachi's. But not really. Kenpachi's is much better. And he's got like 5 pointy things hair. He's got goggles on. And, he's weird looking. And he says, did someone die? Do I really, and Rose responds, do I really need to answer that? Yes, you do. The area where the spiritual pressure just disappeared is where another Vandenreich guy, I believe another Stern Ritter is, Busby's at, and he says if they aren't dead, then he's made a mistake. Okay, no shitting around. I wrote it down. And when you look at his name, it says Stern Ritter U, so they go by letters. So this guy's low. Seemingly not that strong. So this guy is going to fight Rose. Guy's name is, I shit you not, Jakub. And I just figured out something. I don't know if everybody knows this. That song they play like at the sports arenas. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey, Jakub. I was just thinking about it. But enough silliness. Back to the chapter. So this guy is gonna fight Rose, and I wrote it all down. So, moving right along, we have him continuing the fight. You know, he's finding faults among teammates, not very artistic. He says, Rose has this conversation about being artistic. And he's saying that watching Kira gave him persisting inspiration. And he says, just gripping the guitar near him made melodies flow out like tears. And he says to this guy, if Zuru dies, then both me and my fine V will mourn him. And he says, sorry. And this guy's like, oh, sorry, I don't know a thing about art. Nana saying. And this Nana guy, his teeth are weird. They look like checkers. They're black and white. I'm like, been to the dentist lately? But anyway, he says, so I don't know anything about art. And moving right along, you know, we have, he says, but relax. You and your whatever, he's saying, saying, you and your whatever V thing won't ever have to cry again because you'll be dead in 5 minutes. And he says, oh, you really aren't artistic at all, Kira says, Rose is saying. What kind of guitar wouldn't cry after being faced with the many dead comrades? Me and my guitar are already crying. And he says, Rose is telling him, don't expect to leave this place alive, Quincy. And that's basically what happens. Now we get to the introduction of this other guy. Which is probably, I'm going to have to do 2 videos for this, worse looking. His name, his ranking is F, and his name is Asnot. Asnot? I'm not German, but it's a weird name. And he says, what is that monster? And somebody already commented on my last Bleach review from last week saying, it's a girl. Got bad news to tell you. That's not a girl. That's a guy. Yeah. That's what Renji said. So basically everyone's like, you know, he's saying that these Shinigami there fighting him are saying that that our attacks won't work. Everyone who gets stabbed by those shiny spikes dies instantly. And supposedly when dying, they scream. These people are screaming. And he's like saying, don't retreat, you guys! You know, has not been ordered to protect our own lives. Prince Daffers to protect. We need to sacrifice our lives to protect the Sarite. Don't retreat. And then here comes Renji. Boom! With his and he tells this one Shinigami, oh, well said. And the guy's like, Vice Captain Abarai. And I'll leave the rest for me and get the hell out of here. And then we get to the ending of that scene. Then we get this girl. This little girl. And guess what? She's stronger. If I'm reading this correctly, she's stronger than Na and Asnot. Stronger than them. And her name, and we see a scene where she's slicing guys in half. Her name is Bombietta Basterbean. I love her. I'm dead serious. I'm not joking around. I'm probably in love with this character. Is it because she's a girl? Yeah, but mostly because of the fact she looks just so happy-go-lucky. She's killing people, but she's enjoying it. She's like, I love it. She's Basterbean. And then who fights her? Kumamura. I have it right here. I wrote it all down. Who's fighting who. And, you know, I'm probably going to do another video on this. On predictions on these fights. Yes?
You hungry?
Yes?
So what do you want?
A pizza.
Pizza?
Yeah. Pepperoni. So Kumamura, sorry about that. That was my brother talking about pizza. He's there and he's just grabbing her arm. And this is an interesting scene where he says the enemy is even using little girls as warriors. And then she says they even made a little puppy like you a captain. Soul Society must really be hurting for people. And the funny thing is, it's like you have one person who's a little girl and another person who's a dog. So it's like the outcasts, the outcast society. So those two are obviously going to fight. Moving right along, we get other people. Now I wrote here, I have no idea who these other people are, what their names are. These are of the Stern Ritter, who they are, what their ranks are. But we have Shuhei. I wrote Shuhei versus Bearded Mountain Man because he's like this big guy. This guy's huge. That Shuhei is fighting. Huge guy. Bearded Mountain Man guy. And then we have also, after that, we have, in this one page, it's like 3 split screens of who these guys are fighting. And then we've got Shang-Sui. This other guy I was talking to last night said this guy that Shang-Sui's fighting, who he's going to be fighting, looks like Colonel Sanders. I'm not sticking to that. I just say this is old mustache man Quincy guy. And that's who Shang-Sui's fighting. And then Soi Fong. Now, I have a funny I don't want to disappoint anybody, but I don't really like Soi Fong that much. And I have a feeling if any of the captains are going to go, she's going to go. She's going to die. Say what you will, but I don't know. I just feel that way. She's fighting this guy who's got a knight helmet on. Like, seriously, it's a helmet of a knight. And she's going to fight him. Then we got Ukitake. We don't know. We can't really see the guy Ukitake's fighting very well. All you see is his shaggy hair in the back. So we just call him Shaggy Hair Quincy. And then Hitsugai we see also. And he's fighting this hooded guy. And then after that, we go into Renji's fight. And like I said before, Renji says, it's like my attacks don't even work on him. Okay, so Renji is implying that this is not a girl or a woman. It's a guy. It's a man. I mean, I brought that assumption too, that he was a guy. He was a man. So he says that the attacks don't even work on him. He's wondering, is this his own ability or is it an ability that all Quincy's have? And he says when he blocks, he can see some sort of pattern appear. So that can mean anything. So he notices that. Then out of the blue, I think this is the same guy that attacked the other members of Squad 3. And I believe his name is Busaby. This guy looks like he belongs in WWE, I swear to God. He's got a mask, like a Lucha Libre mask. And you know what? If you look closely enough, it's almost as if he's got like a championship belt around his waist. I'm not joking around. You take a look at page, for me on Manga Stream, it's page 18. You'll see the outline of it. And Renji says, damn, he's fast. And then, just when you think this guy's got the upper hand on Renji, who comes in? BYAKUYA. Can't mess around with him. Now, it seems to me that Renji is going to fight this Lucha Libre guy. Busaby. And we have BYAKUYA saying, you need not try and read him, Renji, or take pity on him. They are attempting to mercilessly slaughter all Soul Society. They are clear enemies. Pulverize them with all your might. And we just see this look that Asnot gives BYAKUYA. So obviously Asnot is going to fight BYAKUYA. That's where I'm getting at. That's where I can see it going. And that's where the chapter ends. Holy shit. I'm not joking around here. I wrote these down. I wrote these fights down. Total, 9. 9 fights, 9 people, 9 battles altogether within the Seirei Day. That is insane. I highly am looking forward. I finally can say it. I can finally say it. Kubo is almost there. Bleach is almost back. It's almost here. He's on his way. Kubo is there. He's there. He's got it in his grasp. Out of all the bullshit we had to suffer from the bullshit Fullbring shit, finally, Kubo, man, you're on the way. You're almost there. He's almost there. Kubo was almost there. He's almost there. 4.5 out of 5. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think Soifong? I think Soifong. I think she's the one that's going to die. I honestly believe that. I don't know why, but she's just, I don't know. I just don't see her beating one of these Quincy guys. It might be because she has hand-to-hand combat, but all the Quincy's pretty much are probably skilled in hand-to-hand combat. But I just feel that this Quincy she's fighting might get the upper hand. You know? So, that's the story. Told you who's fighting who. 9 fights in total. This is going to be epic. I seriously... And by the way, I hate to say it, Bleach is better than Naruto. I said it. I said it. Hopefully nobody calls me, you're a Naruto hater. Bleach is better than Naruto. Simple as that. Let's hold our breath, though. Kubo, you have to do better with this. You have to make this right. You have to make this right. I think I'm going to do one more video on this. It's going to be called Predictions on these fights. What I think might happen and what kind of the abilities of the people we haven't seen fight might be. The ones that Soifong is fighting, Shang Sui, Shu Hei, and so on and so forth. Alright, this has been Bonkai 922. Man, Bleach is on the rise. It's rising up. Kubo, don't screw it up. Oh, check out my channel. You'll see how excited I am. Go check out my channel background. I'll see you guys later.